here with my very best friend today.
Well, hello.
Her name is Charlie.
It is.
You have appeared in one of my videos before.
I have.
We did a vlog when I had all of my acne treatment done, and Charlie came along with me.
Yes.
So you have briefly met before.
Very briefly.
But today we wanted to film a video together for ages, and we haven't really been sure what would be good for us to film together.
Yeah.
And we've decided that we're going to do a video on anxiety and panic attacks.
Yes.
Because we both experienced them.
Yep.
But in very different ways. So we're not experts, obviously, and we're not qualified or any of that jazz to give any kind of advice or anything like that. But we just thought it might be quite nice to explain how our experiences with anxiety and panic attacks are different, and how that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. It's important that it's your experience, so you get to define what's happening to you and how it affects you. So yeah.
So we thought we'd just have a bit of a chat really about, we cover like a few different areas of it, so like the causes, the actual attack itself, and then what we do as like a coping mechanism. Because for both of us it's completely different, so we thought it might be quite nice to like gauge an understanding of how it can differ and how everybody's experience is individual.
Yeah.
So would you like to go first?
Why not?
Okay,
Give it a go.
Well, we're going to do causes first, so like what is the cause behind the anxiety, which actually is quite difficult to determine for a lot of people.
Definitely.
I think.
For me, it's a mixture of two things, like the trigger when it first started and then the cause of each one that happens. The trigger when it first started for me was it came with depression, so I realised that was something I had to deal with. And the actual specific triggers of them generally tend to be when I feel like I'm about to fail at something, or I have the potential to fail at something. So, I've got a really important meeting at work and it's time for me to show how talented I am at this specific thing. Oh, good. I'm going to panic about that immediately. That situation, usually. What about you?
Yeah, I think for me, I've never actually experienced a panic attack. Mine's very much just on the anxiety side of things. It's very like circumstantial. So it is similar in terms of like it can be around something I think I might fail at, but it's more just not feeling good enough in general. So then when anything is asked of me, I will be petrified of completing that task. Or like, so it can be something as like going to a meeting or something, but it can even be as simple as kind of like replying to emails to do with that meeting. Yeah,
like the build-up of stuff as well really makes a difference, doesn't it? So if you've got one thing that you're concentrating on and then suddenly there are other things that you'd either forgotten about or are extra on top of that workload, suddenly it's like, okay, well I can't do any of them.
Yeah.
I can't do any of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's too many things to cope with.
So when you actually have a panic attack, like can you explain that process for you?
Yes. So for me, it kind of feels like you can feel it coming. So it's like a wave about to happen. And when it gets you, I get very hot, I get very tense, so I get a bit snappy, and that's how I can tell it's on its way. And then I just feel like I can't breathe. I just completely hyperventilate, feel like you're in a little box, can't really cope with anything, and you just forget. It's like you forget how to breathe. So you can't remember how to breathe in and out regularly. And the maximum they can last for, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere, is 45 minutes, but it feels like it's going to go on forever and ever and ever.
And can they though happen like straight after one another? So you could have one anxiety or a panic attack that would last for 45 minutes, and then another one could start immediately after that?
I guess so, although not immediately in my experience. I've had like a few within the space of a few hours, but they tend to, because they're quite exhausting and it kind of is a release.
Yeah.
It tends to, after one, you tend to just be kind of tired really, and like you've vented something. But I guess so. I genuinely don't know the answer to that one. Yeah.
That's interesting.
The maximum they last individually though is up to 45 minutes.
So that's a really long time to be not able to breathe.
It is. So. But it's kind of nice though. That's kind of got me out of a couple before, because I've been there thinking like, oh my god, this is my life.
It in your brain.
Yeah, I'm like, actually all you've got to do is sit through this till it's done.
Yeah.
And then it's done.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite nice. Kind of.
Well, as nice as a panic attack can be. God,
yeah. What about anxiety? Like, you definitely have attacks of something, but they're different.
It's not like, I couldn't, you know, like you said, you could kind of like preempt them coming sometimes, so you can almost prepare yourself for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I can't really ever tell what's going to cause one. So I can't really prepare myself for it. And it's, for me, and like it can happen differently for everybody that has anxiety. Like I'm sure you get anxiety before you have the panic attacks. Yeah. Like that's kind of how it kind of feeds into one. And for me, I guess maybe it is a form of panicking, but it's like I'm just really sick. Like I will just throw up, and it is like when I had anxiety really badly, it would go on for hours. So I'd be up at kind of like 2 o'clock in the morning being sick until I had to go to work at 9, like, and it wouldn't stop at work. But it's like, so it doesn't feel like it does have that attached to it where it does have an end. And I haven't ever really known many people that have that.
No.
Like where it's just actually vomiting, like, which is scary. It's sickness through worry, but I'm actually sick. So it's like, it's not, I'm not panicking, but it is kind of like a form of
it's like
worry.
that, so is it like if you're about to have an interview or whatever, that knot in the stomach that most people are probably have an affiliation with,
it's multiplied.
It's that.
Yes, it is that.
But
so
with
everybody gets nervous.
Throwing up.
Yeah. So like everybody gets nervous and they'll be like, oh, I'm going for a job interview or whatever, and I'm really scared. And I'm like, yeah, so am I. But it's kind of like a million times worse.
Yeah.
Or it's almost like you have that feeling that you just can't control it. Like I feel like people without anxiety can just be like, well, this is the feeling that you have when you're nervous, and deal with it.
The frustrating thing, I think this is probably true of both of us, with anxiety, is that it doesn't mean you're not a rational person.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm super rational.
Yeah, like your rational brain is going, well, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Everything about this is a ridiculous situation. It's completely fine.
Yeah.
But then the other bit of you that exists in your brain is like, no, we're going to panic.
Yeah.
We're going to panic now and we're going to be anxious.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it.
So what would you say that you do to cope with it?
So
because it is coping, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not. There's not a cure, I don't think.
No,
particularly.
Coping for me looks like I did a little bit of CBT for a while, so cognitive behavioural therapy, which is really cool. Had a little notebook that I carried around where if I felt a bit anxious, I would write down lots of good things about the situation I was in. That just focuses your rational brain. Or if it was really bad, I would write down all the bad things so I felt like I could vent them productively. But apart from that, just dealing with the fact that it happens and I have to just
being
let
at peace with it.
Yeah, let it happen, and then I can get on with the good bit of my brain that can deal with it.
Yeah. So would you say that kind of like being able to push on with the rest of your life, because that's the thing, isn't it? It can become so debilitating.
Definitely.
That you stop doing things because of it.
Definitely.
And I
think you're scared of it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like so.
Well, that's more. I think like for me that limited amount of time, I can literally be like, oh, I'll sit here for 10 minutes and have a panic attack and then move on with my life. How does it feel to try and make yourself still do things when you know it could cause you that anxiety?
What?
That's a really difficult question.
It's hard to talk about because it's like there isn't really an answer, and it is the reason we're filming this video, I guess, is because it is so like based on you as a particular person. But I think like my anxiety was brought on, like I think if you can identify, like you identified it was with depression that was caused it, and so you've had to deal with that as a separate entity and like treat that essentially, and in turn that's obviously made things slightly easier to cope with. But for me it was very much about my lifestyle and the things that surrounded me when I had very bad anxiety, and so I have changed my life to cope with it. So I think it's important to note that I don't mean change my life in terms of like I've stopped doing things to like pacify it, which I haven't done that. I have removed toxic things from my life, which I didn't realise at the time were causing me to be more anxious. So I'm still that anxious person now, and I still have anxiety attacks, but it's not as bad because the rest of my life is balanced with a lot of happiness.
And I think, definitely. And I think making sure that the people you surround yourself with are not just people who care about you and who want you to be happy, but are also people who respect the fact that that's something you deal with.
Yeah.
Like, not someone who's just like, oh, well, just stop worrying about it.
Yeah. Definitely, because that's not an option.
No, it's not productive, and it also means like that really what you're looking for is some respect of your own emotions. Like, yes, they might be irrational emotions, but they're still happening. So you have to find a way to deal with them, and people you have around you should be respectful of the fact you have to go through that process.
Yeah. So I think when you are an anxious person, like seeking help is the most difficult thing, and I had medication for my anxiety, and that didn't suit me, and I was also referred to have CBT, but I was too scared to do it. So,
and it might not have been right for you.
Yeah, right? I think it's okay to not do everything that everybody tells you to do with it, and everybody's experience will be different, but I also think it's really important to let yourself try, because I realised you've really just got to have a word with yourself.
Yeah.
And I think because I realised actually this and this and this are making me way more anxious because they're not actually supporting that part of my life at all. Do I actually need it in my life? Do I need that to be part of it? And no, actually I don't. So if you can, it's up to you how you manage it, but it's not something that you should be ashamed of or scared to talk about, or so many people. So many people. Like, me and Charlie are best friends, but we're so different. In pretty much every way.
Polar.
But we both experience this thing, and we experience it in very different ways.
Yes.
And we've both seeked a way to cope with it separately in very different ways, and we're both doing well with it. So I think being able to speak about it is really important. Being able to find your own way to manage it is really important.
Yeah, and being honest with yourself about what works and what doesn't. Just because someone says something should doesn't mean it will for you.
Yeah.
And that's just as okay as something working. You just got to find your own journey through it. But there are people who will talk with you and help you do that if you ask for it.
Yeah. Easier said than done, definitely, because it took me a really long time to actually recognise that it was anxiety. And I was like, why is this happening to me every time something significant happens in my life? I don't...
Very specific stomach bug.
Yeah. I was like, I don't really... and I didn't know what it was. And actually, I went on Twitter and was like, this is happening. What is happening? And people were like, that's
Did you?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I did. And people were like, I think that might be anxiety.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, maybe I'll look into
clever.
that. Twitter is clever, and you're a good lot, you are. And I would say it's definitely coping. I don't feel like I've actually got a set way to deal with the fact that I have anxiety. I've just made sure that my life is the best possible version that it can be to accommodate.
Yeah. Also, the fact that you can feel that intensely actually probably means you also have other aspects of your personality that benefit from being able to feel that intensely. So
that's really good. I like that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
so
definitely.
If you're that passionate about something, there will be people in the world who think that is an irrational thing to be able to do, or that making decisions based on that is irrational, and that's probably true. Being able to feel like that means you can probably feel that passionately about other people, and wanting to have everything perfect in your life means that maybe you want to help other people have things perfectly in their lives as well. So it builds compassion. So just because there are negative outcomes of how you feel doesn't mean that everything to do with it is negative.
I really like that.
Do you know what I mean?
I really like that a lot. And it is for some people, well actually I think for everyone that experience panic attacks and anxiety, it's not something that kind of just goes away. It is something that tends to stay with you and doesn't really disappear. So being able to accept it as part of your personality in a positive way and not letting it rule your life in the negative aspects that it has to it is really, it's difficult but really good. Yeah. Really, really, really good. I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
It's a challenge that's worth doing.
Yes, definitely. Cool. So yeah, we just... That's it, I think, really.
It's easy to look at it on the surface as, oh, people experience this, are like this, but actually there's a plethora of different types of people that have to deal with all sorts of things.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Like, it's nice just to have a little bit of chat about things like this because it is something that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you actually was a massive problem and it was an illness and it had to be actually it's just part of loads of people's lives.
Yeah.
And we're good anyway.
Yeah. We are. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and do let us know if you would like to see any more videos with us.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Let us know what you think. Yeah. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.
Do it.
Yes, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you soon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.